So, keeping the risers theme going, Stephen, I want to pass the buck to you now and talk specifically about 2023 draft prospects. That's your area of expertise, not mine. So, who has risen, do you think, in terms of fantasy value in the draft class lately?
Well, the one guy that I was not very high on at the beginning of the season, and I'm still not super high on him, but I'm not going to ignore kind of how good he was with um, uh, offensively this year, which is Jaden Perrin from the Chicago Steel, who he plays on the same team as Macklin Celebrini, one of the top prospects for 2024. But he went out there this year. He put up 72 points, 24 goals, 48 assists. Last year, he only had 45 points. That was a huge increase. He's a University of North Dakota commit, and with him, it was he's a small player, but he was a great passer, and it was kind of like, can he put the points on the board? In the first half of that season, he was playing at a point per game rate, which is nothing overly special in the USHL, but he eventually kind of figured it all out and put up some great numbers. So I think he's someone that if teams could overlook the fact that he's 5'8", I think he's got the skill to be a very effective offensive forward in the NHL. Then there's Gabe Perreault, and the guy that I recently wrote about for dailyfaceoff.com about how he just obliterated Austin Matthews' U.S. National Development Team points record by I think almost 20 points at this point. Just absolute star of a prospect. But he's not a great skater, and defensively, he's not fantastic either. So the thing here is he's a finisher, but he's also a very smart player. He knows where he's got to be, and that really works out very well. And a guy that thinks the game like he does is going to have an NHL career. So I expect him to be better than his brother, Jacob Perreault. And then, of course, their dad is Yannick Perreault. But when it comes to Gabriel Perreault, I think, you got to give him the right line mates to make it all work. And it will be interesting to see if there's somehow the way the draft plays out that maybe he gets on the same team as Will Smith. We don't know, because those guys are great together in the U.S. National Development Program. And then the third guy I want to talk about is Matthew Wood, who was on Canada's top line at the U18s. And he's a guy that was playing in junior A hockey. So he put up a lot of points, but it was like, could he do that in the NCAA? And he fast tracked so he could play a year early in the NCAA. And so far, so good. He played at a point per game pace at the University of Connecticut. He was one of Canada's best players at the U18s. I will have a story on him heading into the draft, a very interesting prospect. And he's got big size. So at 6'3", he could skate, he could hit, he could score. Those are the type of guys that teams look for. So I think those are three guys that should make some noise in the NHL. So it's an exciting draft.